there, Schoology users. Thanks for your patience this week. Last week really kicked my butt. So we're finishing up week 5. It's getting serious, more advanced techniques, Schoology 0 to Hero, and of course day 26, how can I embed other websites? So what do you need for today? Well, you're just going to need some other websites. We're going to do a deeper dive than my precursory before. We're going to talk about how you know if something can actually be embedded. So find some websites that you want to include in Schoology, and we're going to talk about how to do it. So let's get started. Hey there, Schoology users. Today we're talking about how we're going to embed this stuff and bring other websites into Schoology. Now, I want to start with something that's where you need to take Schoology and embed it somewhere else. So for us, we have a student learning template, but some days I have my slideshow here and I actually am going to add activities to it. So one of the activities that I have in here is actually an assignment on Schoology. It's number 3 here. It's this Slides About Me. And this is just a Slidesmania template that can be used as a choice board or to tell them what they're doing that day. I actually am a really big fan of it, and y'all know I use Slidesmania for my setup. So as you can see, this is very simple directions, and I actually used Pear Deck with this. So Pear Deck was up and running, and when we got to the slides, I'm telling them to complete the collage. They can actually just click here on this little Schoology logo, and you can see there's a link attached. So I'm going to show you how to go grab that link, or any link. All you're going to do is you're going to go to your course, whichever course it may be, and you're going to find your assignment that you have. So if I scroll down here, I have some things to pick from. Let's say I want to pick this one that says Sequence Practice. All I'm going to do is I'm going to click on that. At the top of the screen here, you have a unique URL to your school. And I'm going to caution you against this. For me, this URL has changed a couple times because Delaware just got this thing called ClassLink in order to log into it. So sometimes this LF will say app, and sometimes it'll say LF. So be careful. If your links aren't working, it's because that got changed by your district somehow. All you're going to do is you're going to copy this at the top using Control or Command C. Come back over here and click on your item. In my case, it is this arrow. And you're going to hit Command or Control K. That's going to pop up the link where you can post or paste your link in with Control V. And then you just hit Apply. And now when your students are here and you're using an add-on like Pear Deck, you can go through and they can actually click that link. It does work. I tested it out with students today. And they will get taken straight to the assignment so they don't have to worry about tracking down where your work is. What's nice about this is if you want to have, a single page hyperdoc posted at the top of your course, you now can. So that's my first cool tech tool for embedding in Schoology. The second thing we're going to do is actually talk about embedding a page. Now, there's a lot of different ways to do that and embed a different website, but let's talk Google products or Microsoft products for a moment. The only thing I need to do here is add a page. Now I can also do this in an assignment if I want to, but you're better off using something like a Google assignment or a OneDrive assignment for a Word or a PowerPoint if you want the students to do something with it. If this is just, I'm going to put all the assignments for one day on one item, you could definitely embed your slideshow there. It's the same steps as I'm going to use for a page. Now when I'm in the page, if I want to embed something from Google, I'm actually going to go up here. Down here, if you use this external resource, it's going to just put like a little link at the bottom. It's not actually going to embed it. We want it to actually embed. So if you come up here, you can see I have OneDrive and Google Drive. I'm just going to go to my Google Drive real quick, and it's going to pull up what I got going on. As you can see, lots of things. Let's say I want to put my Bitmoji classroom into this course. I'm going to use Import Embed, and that's going to make it display within the course. Give it a second, and you get this yellow box. That's exactly what you should have. We're going to call this Embedding for right now, just for practice. And down here, you'll see this display on a new page. When you tap that little button and make it in color, it's going to display in line. So just like with my folders where you could see that picture that I put on it, you're going to be able to see this classroom without having to do anything. If you watched my 5-minute classroom for this setup video, this is actually how I created my buttons, this idea right here. Now, once you have done that, what you're going to do is you can edit it however you like. Let's say I want to add a slideshow to this too, because we can do that. So what I'm going to do is wait for this to load up here for a second, or maybe I'm just going to switch to the HTML and pop back to visual since it's being a little dumb. Well, let's do a different website, and we'll do it with the HTML. I was going to do another Google item first, but we can wait on that. When it comes to HTML, there's a couple different ways to get it. I'm actually going to go to this Google slideshow right here and show you how to get the HTML pre-made for you so that you don't have to go to another website. What you're going to do is you're going to go to File, Publish to the Web. Now, most Google products have this available. OneDrive does too. You're just going to grab this embed code here. So I'm going to just click Publish. It's going to ask me if I'm sure, and I'm going to say OK. And then I'm going to just copy this item right here, come back over, and paste it right above my code that was already there. Now when I save my changes, my Google slideshow is directly above it. But it has those awful black bars. So all I'm going to do, pop back in here, see that for some reason it's not, oh, there it goes. My yellow boxes didn't show, but I could click on it, pop it open, and here's my item going on. I'm going to change these dimensions. I'm going to take it down to 900 in terms of size, and then I'm going to go over here to my source, and where I see this embed question mark, right after that question mark, I'm going to get rid of everything. And I'm going to add RM equals minimal. And what that's going to do is it's going to remove the black bars at least a little bit. You can't perfectly get rid of them. And it's also going to go through and get rid of that menu across the bottom. When I go into embedding, those black bars won't really be there very much, only a little bit of them. You can modify and change the size of this to make it a little better. All right, the final way to add stuff to your course, okay, is to go through and use an iframe tool. Here's the thing with that. Not everything can be embedded. As I learned in my first video, quizzes can't. And what it looks like when it can't is it comes up with like this little X and a frowny face. It's not something you want to use. So when that happens, you can always link to it. So I just want to show you, you can still link whatever you like. If I go to quizzes here and I just copy and paste this quizzes.com/join, I can go back to Schoology and I can add that link at the bottom of the page and just paste it in. So now they'd have that link that they could go to and it would take them. It's not going to be happening within Schoology itself, but it will be on a new tab. Sometimes you can use an iframe generator, and I usually use iframegenerator.com. It hasn't failed me yet. And all I do is I go through this. Well, let's talk these settings. First thing is you can give it a name. Then you have the width. So here it's 600 by 400 and it's in terms of pixels. However, you can change this and make it a percent size. I personally like pixels because it's just easier to work with. I use my computer screen as the standard size for it, and I'll usually go with like 900 by 500 for a lot of things just because it seems to work for me. However, when I go to a Google item, I will just get the size of the slide or the drawing. You can do the same thing with OneNote and OneDrive. And I will do that just by going to Page Setup. And you can see it's in inches. You can change this to pixels. So if I wanted it to be absolutely perfect on my Schoology slide, it would be 1280 by 720. I don't want it that big. I don't care if it's that big. So this is my quizzes. I can add a scroll bar, which I usually do, and that just means that if the frame isn't big enough, they get a bar that they can go up and down, side to side. You can add margins if you so desire, a border type, so you can just kind of decide how you want it to look and how big that border would be. Then what you're going to do is you're going to paste that code in, and you can generate. Now, before you go through and try and go mess with stuff in Schoology, here's how you see if it works. When you click preview, you can see, hey, look, it's going to work. This is what it's going to look like. It's going to have me enter my join code right there, and then I can scroll down, right? Okay, so hypothetically, the iframe should work. But there is some special thing. It's called HTTPS. In order for things to be able to go through. So when I paste this in, it's not going to work. It's not HTTPS. It's another thing. But when I paste this in, you're going to see that we get that little crappy little X and the frowny face going on. And it's going to be at the bottom here. So this, oh, whoa. Hey, guess what? You can make quizzes work now, apparently. Yes, I was not expecting that to work. So you can go through, and sometimes they're going to update their code. There's a specific code to be able to get in. I'm going to show you what the Schoology says for that real quick. So here you'll see what Schoology says for troubleshooting when it comes to this. It is HTTPS. It's an SSL that they use, and depending on the website, depends on if it can actually be embedded. So you can go through and see here all the fancy information on how to make it happen. Now there are some websites where you can go through and you can fix it. So like on YouTube, you can make it say use HTTPS, and that will allow you to embed the YouTube video in the site. But if it doesn't work, you have to go through and see, okay, does the website actually meet the requirements to work? So you'll also see that if you trust the content safe, you might have to load scripts sometimes if that is popping up. So that's a whole bunch on how to embed more things and how to go through and set things into Schoology. I hope this helps, and I hope you enjoy. I'll see you for the last couple videos this week. Bye-bye.